Hi everyone, this video is a bit different from my usual style, or rather the style of my one previous video, because I am currently on site at Commonwealth Station to capture some actual footage. But no, the neighborhood in question is not Commonwealth, but it is a bit more from here. Welcome to Tanglin Halt. Tanglin Halt was a station on the Malayan Railway line that stretched from mainland Malaya into Singapore, terminating at the iconic Tanjong Pagar Railway Station. It was first opened on 3rd May 1952 alongside new stations at Tanjong Pagar and Alexandra Halt, on a line that was supposed to replace part of the existing rail line Dr. Tank Road. The reason Tanglin Halt was called Tanglin Halt instead of just Tanglin was that the Brits who used to run this corner of Southeast Asia used halt to refer to small stations with minimal additional facilities and no staff, likely due to low ridership. For example, Tanglin Halt only had one platform, and it seemed like there were no formalized railroad crossings near the station, which caused several incidents of people being hit by trains or just trying to cross near the station. However, Tanglin Halt did have a station master, which points to just how nebulous and arbitrary the use of the word halt in the railway context was. Also the station is actually nowhere near Tanglin. Tanglin Halt first jumped from station name to area name when the Singapore Improvement Trust, the predecessor to the HDB or Housing Development Board, earmarked the area for development. It would form one of the 5 districts of Queenstown, and some 3 and 4-story flats were built, but it was in 1962 when Tanglin Halt became significantly more built up. The HDB got to work, building 10-story flats at a more rapid pace. These flats were so distinctive that they made it onto the currency of an independent Singapore, and inspired another name for Tanglin Halt, Chap Lao 2, which literally translates from Hokkien as 10-floor flats. Simultaneously, to provide employment for residents, parts of Tanglin Halt closer to the station were turned into a light industrial estate, and this area had several flooded factories and workshops by 1966. Tanglin Halt, the station, would open and close repeatedly, before closing for good sometime in the 1990s. It almost mirrors the fortunes of the neighborhood it gave its name to. The area, once flourishing, unfortunately saw its fortunes wane. Factories started moving out of Tanglin Halt in the late 80s to other larger industrial estates, with almost all of them gone by the 2000s. And, starting in 2003, many blocks at Tanglin Halt were selected for en-bloc redevelopment. And as new, taller HDB blocks were built, residents moved into their new flats with a view of the entire neighborhood, including the demolition of their old houses. Nowadays, Tanglin Halt is just a small, quiet neighborhood, excluding of course the construction vehicles building new HDB blocks. It is very clearly being renewed with new housing, especially at the part that's closest to Commonwealth MRT station and the space between Queensway and Tanglin Halt Road. A lot of these blocks are actually super tall HDB blocks that are about 40 floors, a complete contrast to the 3, 4, and 10-floor blocks you can find in the parts of the neighborhood closest to the market and the railway tracks. As I walked around, the contrast between the original parts of the neighborhood and the construction of the new flats was actually quite stark. The loop of road where Tanglin Halt factories used to be is now also completely empty, save for one building at the end of the road. As for the railway, it's not a very lovely rail corridor, and apart from the place name, any trace of there previously being a station here is completely gone. So of course, I had to try and guess what the old platform and station building, as seen in this picture, used to be. It's possible it could have been where this brown strip of soil is now, but given that there are these poles in front of it, I think it seems unlikely. Closer to Buona Vista MRT station is this very pleasant park where I thought it might have been instead. For a while, I was under the impression that this gravel pit might be where the station was, but since there is once again another signal pole in front of it, and there is another identical gravel pit further up, I think this is also unlikely. Given the background of the pictures I can find, it seems most likely that where the station once stood is the exact same spot where this footpath and rest hut now stands, as evidenced by the beige building behind it. It may be gone, but in a sense, this rest stop on the rail corridor is the spiritual successor of a station that gave a neighborhood its name. Another stop on Singapore's journey of continued redevelopment of itself. Thanks for watching.